cool list for you here today, you ladies and you gents. So it's actually a combined list of the top most sold fragrances in the US for 2019-2020. This is not like in the world, or it's not of all time. It's just for the last 2 years in US only. And the sources that I utilized were major discount sites, you know who they are, and of course your major retailers or general stores. So I compiled a list to give you the top 5 masculine and 5 feminine most sold fragrances in the US in the last 2 years. If you want to check them out, stick around, the list is up next. This is a common question. Most people want to know, what are the top selling fragrances and why are they the top selling fragrances? I'll give you a little bit of my thought behind why I think they're the top sellers, besides just sharing it to you, and perhaps give you some options if you like that type of fragrance but you want something a little different. So without any further ado, let's hop into it. I'll do 2 honorable mentions that almost made the top 5 on masculines and feminines, and we'll start with ladies first. Honorable mention number 1 is a 2005 release from Viktor & Rolf called Flower Bomb. This particular fragrance was composed by master perfumer Olivier Poge, and it's basically a floral, oriental, spicy patchouli scent. Honorable mention number 2 for women is going to be the 2006 release from Versace. This is going to be Bright Crystal from Versace. And this particular fragrance, again, it's going to be a fruity floral fragrance composed by master perfumer Alberto Marias. At the 5th spot from the ladies, of course, we have a Chanel fragrance. As you know, Chanel is going to make these lists because they're very sought after and very respected fragrances in the world. And so this is going to be the 5th spot for the women. It's going to be Chanel Eau Tendre. And of course, there is an Eau de Parfum version, but this is the original that was launched in 2010 from master perfumer Jacques Poge. And again, this is going to be a fruity floral type of a scent, highlighting notes of hyacinth and jasmine with a nice fruity base and a little hint of a woody ambery undertone. At the 4th spot, we have one of my favorite women fragrances of all time. It's actually my wife's favorite as well. I love this stuff on her. And this is going to be Yves Saint Laurent's Black Opium. This is going to be an oriental at its finest with coffee, licorice, some black and dark elements, spiciness, a little bit of a floral hint. There's jasmine in here as well. This is nothing short of a masterpiece. Released in 2014, a combination of perfumers got together to put this together. Olivier Cresp and Natalie Larson were the 2 main creators in this fragrance. And again, this is a masterpiece at the 4th spot. At the 3rd spot, we actually have a celebrity fragrance. I thought we were gonna have one of those here. This is going to be Ariana Grande's Cloud, and it's basically going to be a fruity floral fragrance with a ton of different fruits like coconut, pear, and it's basically a take or a copy, a dupe, or whatever you want to call it, of the very famous Baccarat Rouge 540 from Maison Francis Kurkdjian. So if you wanted a more affordable, long-lasting, really good smelling option to that fragrance, definitely check out Ariana Grande's Cloud at the 3rd spot. At the 2nd spot, this is going to be another classic / masterpiece of times. This is going to be a fragrance released in 2001. Again, Olivier Cresp, master perfumer, put this together for ladies out there, and I know it's a very beloved fragrance. We're talking about Dolce Gabbana Light Blue. It's going to be a citrus, fruity fragrance with a ton of citruses, you know, bergamot, lemons, grapefruit. It's a melange of citruses up top with a little bit of white musk and a hint of flowers. The really cool thing about that particular fragrance is the bamboo note, which really makes it for a very unique type of a scent, which was copied a lot over the years for a reason. Whenever there's a groundbreaking trendsetter kind of a fragrance, a lot other fragrances will follow, just like Cloud I just talked about, and this one here is no different. At the 2nd spot, Dolce & Gabbana Light Blue. Speaking of masterpieces, let me get a drum roll for you ladies. The number 1 most sold fragrance actually from 2018 on, it has been the top selling fragrance in America, and it topped off Chanel No. 5, which had been the number 1 for many years. And of course, it's another Chanel fragrance, Coco Mademoiselle Eau de Parfum. Now this particular fragrance, guys, this is really good stuff. My wife loves this, and I love to smell this on her. This is going to be a combination of oranges up top, orange blossom, mandarin orange, with jasmine, Turkish rose, with a floral bed in the heart. And in the base, what I love about this, it has some earthy and strong components like amber, vetiver, and a hint of tonka. It's sweet, it's floral, it's balsamic, it's very chic, very elegant and sophisticated. You ladies will smell like $1,000,000 if you haven't tried this, which I'm sure you have, but if you haven't, Don't miss out on this one. Coco Mademoiselle at the #1 spot, most sold fragrance in the last couple years here in the US. Now for the gentlemen, we're gonna talk about 5 top sold fragrances, again from 5 to 1, but I'm gonna give you also 2 honorable mentions. One from 1988 from Pierre Bourton. We have this aromatic citrus / aquatic, really catapulting this genre to the masses. People started to really love the citrus aromatic / aquatic fragrances. And this is Davidoff's Cool Water, released in 1988, still a classic today, and almost made the top 5. A very, very good fragrance. If you haven't tried this and you love aquatic fragrance, this is a staple and you should definitely have. It's a cheapie, but definitely a goodie. Speaking of classics, another great classic one that's now a cheapie, always makes my top professional work scents. I think this is great for a first impression. If you're going for a meeting, if you're going for a job interview, I think this is a jack of all trades for that particular setting or scenario. This is Eternity for Man, a great fragrance. I love this. This is Carlos Benaim's masterpiece. And I think what this did is it took the tired or aged fougere genre up to that point and made it this floral, citrus, bright, uplifting kind of a aromatic fougere type of a scent. I love this. It's creamy, it's sweet, it's inviting, sophisticated, elegant, another timeless classic masterpiece from 1990, Eternity for Men. All right, guys, so at the 5th spot, the most sold fragrance for men in the US in the past almost 2 years now is Dolce Gabbana Light Blue. Not the Eau Intense, but the original that was released back in 2007 and won the Fifi Awards for fragrances, for masculine fragrances in 2008. What this is actually a citrus aromatic / aquatic fragrance that is really, really good. This is actually an original formulation which had this light blue cap. I know the reformulation is a bright, shiny blue, so it has been reformulated, but it's still a great citrus fragrance. It's still a great aquatic with a modern feel. I think there's a lot of florals in here, a blast of citrus up top. It's really inviting, very invigorating, borderline sensual. It's a very sensual scent. You think of beach weather, you think of tropical seasons, you talk about, locations that are uplifting, like, tropical areas of the world, beachy, if you're going on vacation. This has vacation all over it. If you want to smell great, you want to smell uplifting, bright, and invigorated, this is definitely going to do the job. And you guys know, citrus aromatics and aquatics tend to be the fragrance that most people enjoy wearing because they're easy to wear and they're easy for compliments, easy on the nose, so forth and so on. So at the 5th spot, Dolce Gabbana Light Blue from 2007. At the 4th spot, no surprises to me, shouldn't be a surprise to you. We have Acqua di Gio from the Italian house Armani, and of course, a masterpiece to this day. It remained as the #1 most sold fragrance for men for decades. Now it falls into the 4th position here in the US, but it's still a great masterpiece. What I like to call this is a citrus aquatic / floral. This is a great, it smells so good. It's a great masculine aquatic floral type of a scent. It has a ton of fruits up top with a floral base and some woods that come forth as you get from the heart into the dry down. It remains a little bit linear, but it does transition a little bit on skin. It's a great scent nonetheless, very appealing, very easy to wear, great for interviews, great for the office. It's one that'll never fail to give you positive notices. And the noses, by the way, this was released in 1996, so it's still amazing that it holds the 4th spot to this day. And the noses behind this one, a lot of people think it was just Alberto Maria's. Little secret for you guys, Annick Monardo was also involved in this project at the 4th spot. At the 3rd spot, of course, this fragrance would have to be here. There's always a top juvenile or youthful or playful kind of a scent. This is more for the younger crowd. Of course, at the 3rd spot, we have Versace Arrows. And this particular fragrance is going to be a blast of mint, vanilla, and tonka. Needless to say, a sweet, powerful bomb. If you want attention, if you want to smell sweet and delectable, this is definitely going to do the job. It's been on top lists all over the place. I'm not surprised this is #3. It does smell really good, but it is a bit obnoxious and overpower at times. But you can't deny the fact this is a great compliment pooling fragrance. It smelled great, and it was released in 2012. And to this day, it's one of the best fragrances out there when it comes to, I think, nightlife or romantic setting. If you're going to clubbing, if you want to really grab attention, I'd say this is the king of clubbing or the king of the night. Versace Arrows at the 3rd spot. All right, at the #2 spot, which was actually very close to #1, so I'll talk about both, together right now. We have at the #2 spot, Bleu de Chanel from Chanel, of course. And #1 spot, we have Dior Sauvage. This is expected. You guys know the blue genre has been really one that's been overdone and really exploded in the past 10 years or so. Bleu de Chanel originally released in 2010 from master perfumer Jacques Polge, and Dior Sauvage soon after, 5 years later in 2015, wanted to grab a few shares of that particular kind of a genre, released in 2015 from master perfumer François Demachy. Now both fragrances do share that blue genre. I do enjoy Bleu de Chanel a tad more. I think it's a more well-rounded fragrance. It's better constructed. I'd say better ingredients. Not to say that Dior is bad, but this is just creamier. It has that beautiful Chanel powdery floral aldehydic kind of a very sensual musky vibe that we get with their fragrances. You have mint, you have cypress. It is a very sophisticated and very intense fragrance when it comes to compliments. No wonder why it is the #1/number 2, because, and I'm gonna tell you why, it's not number 1, due to the price. Due to the price, I think it falls a little short of Dior Sauvage, which also gives you that blue genre, the ambroxan feel. I mean, look at the sprays on this thing, just a beast. It smells great, it's compliment inducing, it's sweeter than Bleu de Chanel, so it's definitely more youthful. No wonder why it makes top lists everywhere and is one of the most sold fragrances in the US. Number 1, because it's a little bit more affordable than Bleu de Chanel, but it's still up there. It's a great scent. Guys, let me know in the comment section, any of these fragrances came as a surprise to you? Did you think that there were other fragrances that were not featured here that you would think would be in the top 5? Let me know in the comments. Go crazy. Let me know which ones are your favorite 5 fragrances that you always have in your collection. In your mind, which fragrances did not make the list that should have made the list? Guys, go crazy in the comments. Don't forget to show me your support. Ladies, please, guys, give me a like, touch the subscribe button, hit the little bell icon so you guys get content like this straight into your feed. As always, remember, fragrance is emotion in motion. It's an extension of your character. It's an extension of who you are. So wear what truly moves you. I'll see you right back here with another video very soon. Take care.